And I was born in France, so when I came to the UK, we had difficulty finding a church. I also had the predominantly black church experience like Amy. However, when we came to St. Mary's, I felt welcome and included in church, and my voice was heard. It was because I was heard that I was able to receive help when I needed it. I'm in the year of university applications and exams. The members of St. Mary's Church do not ask me to do anything that they do not think that I am capable of doing. And that is why I'm here during this challenging year, and I can speak to you all confidently because I've done this many times before with the church's support. When I sought places to volunteer, the church was here, and I have since enjoyed preparing shared meals, running activities for young children, and managing finance. When I needed help academically, I had access to years of experience and knowledge and connections within the members of my church. When I felt troubled, the church offered many resources and guidance for my family. I am proud to be part of a community that listens. Because when we listen, we can hear those who are vulnerable. We can hear those who are worried. And we can hear those who we, as individuals, might be able to help or advise or refer on to. When St. Mary's gave a voice to the youth, the nature of St. Mary's changed, in the sense that God is using the youth to teach the adults, to speak to the adults, to show the adults that there is no age to faith, that in spirituality we are all as wise as each other. In the passage you heard from Toby, 1 Corinthians 12, verse 23, the Lord says, the members of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. Ideally, our children and our youth should be protected and guided and loved. They are not weaker, as one could argue that as you age, you become more frail. However, they are not entirely strong either, so we look up to our parents and the adults in our lives. Though we seem to be weaker among our families, in our schools, to the politicians, against the problems in the world, in our religious communities, in our lives, there will be a time where we will have to take over in the future. We will extend our families, we will become teachers, we will make the big decisions, we will discover our own faith, we will face the problems of the world, and we will not all have our parents and the adults in our lives to look up to, but we will have their knowledge. I'd like to think that the Lord in this passage is calling the youth indispensable. Because in truth, we are absolutely necessary in continuing His will through our communities as those have done before us. He did not give us a time or an age or a particular task, but He emphasized that we, as seemingly weaker members of the body, are indispensable. So I suppose that there is a weight in our opinions and our experiences and our faith, whether it is acknowledged or not. They should be considered whilst both the adults and the youth are all together as one, like we are in this room. But they will not always be, and the responsibility of the church and education and politics and conflict will undeniably, certainly, irrevocably fall into our hands. The adults and the youth should be working alongside each other for the time being, so that we may learn from one another before it is too late. If we do not listen now, if we do not hold the youth back, if we don't show the youth how to lead and guide and teach on their own, if we do not develop these skills, there will not be a youth to carry on the legacy of the church, of our communities, of our families, because they will not know how to, and they will not know that they should do. Just because God sees the value in our youth does not mean that they are aware of it. When they are not treated like their voices and actions have an impact. When they do not know that their presence is powerful and pivotal to the future of this earth. 1 Corinthians verses 25 to 27. God commands that there may be no dissension within the body, but the members have the same care for one another. If one member suffers, all suffer together with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice together with it. Naturally, the adults are responsible for their children and the youth. But the children are just as responsible for their parents and the adults. We are accountable for one another, and on the day of judgment, our actions and our words and our treatment of one another are all put to question. Let it not be ignorance that weighs down the adults, and silence that weighs down the youth. In the habit where the adults discuss and make the big decisions, they will not see that the children hold the solution. And sometimes God will not let them see. For the children have been forgotten for too long and will start to take their own initiative. And perhaps initiative is what led me to email Bishop Sophie, despite the fact that I had no intention to start a change. I just want to be heard, and I was listened to. Thank you.